Hi everyone, Charles from The Food People here. Our purpose has always been to shape a better future, and as experts in trend foresight, we're very clear in our role to support the industry by helping shift the future of food and drink by harnessing the power of trends. And to that end, today, we're beginning a series of 12 articles with accompanying subscriber blog and video content that examine the longer term impact on food and drink and the future foresight horizon as a result of COVID-19. This essential foresight will support you in identifying opportunity in the next normal in food and drink. So welcome to that first installment. In a pandemic and post-pandemic world, we all have to consume. That's a reality. And in this installment, we're looking at even more conscious consumption, the redefinition of our food systems, and reinvented supply chains. So starting with even more conscious consumption. More than ever, food is playing an integral part in consumers' day-to-day lives. There has been a loss of regular routine, and meal times are increasingly fundamental in bringing structure, definition, and even joy and anticipation to everybody's day-to-day living. We're having different conversations about food and drink and the things that we're looking forward to in the context of our new everyday lives. And in a quest to control the things we can control and form human connection in a world where this is sparse, it's no surprise that consumers are increasingly interested in delving further into the food chain and how it gets from farm to plate. Being part of a community and engaging with a local food community not only brings the benefits of basic supply and availability, of course, but that positive choice gives us a dopamine hit of supporting local, human, and community-based businesses that drive that all-important, craved human connection. So think about how your business or brand can leverage this as you adapt and pivot your business. Once the domain of the distressed purchase, local food shops and stores are often well stocked, ready to serve their communities, meaning that the convenience store network is and will be an increasingly important part of the supply chain. There's an opportunity for the local shop or store to play, perhaps in the future, the distribution hub role in a post-COVID future, serving that immediate locale. There couldn't be a more important time to be clear about your purpose, as consumers make positive choices about supporting businesses that they respect and align with their personal values in that fight for survival. Sustainability, for instance, will continue to be an important element for consumers, yet those who have become more price sensitive or concerned about hygiene as a result of COVID-19 may favour single-use packaging. We'll see. We fully expect there to be a bright light shone on ethical food consumption and animal welfare in a post-pandemic world that will closely examine, even more than the pre-pandemic world, the link between animal health and welfare in the context of human health and welfare. So consider how these factors affect strategic and business choices that you make today for tomorrow. Let's think about food system revolution. As we know, traditional food systems were already being redefined before this global crisis. However, now that that evolution has sparked revolution and taken on a new form, this is moving at breakneck speed. For instance, shopping locally and supporting small business was growing in popularity, but now these are not just deemed as a worthy and trendy option, they are essential. Savvy small businesses in many cases are being overwhelmed with volume as they start to become well versed in using virtual and contactless platforms. Going local can also be delivered. So not only does going local feel good and support immediate communities, in many cases, small is also agile and convenient, as local food and drink businesses collaborate to offer delivery and in some cases, same-day delivery. So hyperlocal can be hyper convenient. Consider how you can leverage this for your business or brand, or how you will compete with this in a post-COVID world. Takeaway and delivery was already defining the out-of-home sector. The demand for online ordering, frictionless delivery and collection has seen retail scramble to increase capacity, which is now in place. This taste of enforced friction-free, whether this be for a food grocery delivery or a restaurant meal to your home, means that some may never return to the pre-pandemic ways. Also, in the medium and possibly the long term, we expect shoppers and diners to be more nervous and obsessed about hygiene and prefer the safe experience of shopping or ordering online to the prospect of shopping or eating in a comparatively crowded space. As such, the competitive space is likely to be the safe, local, delivered or collected space. As a restaurant that delivers or can offer a drive-through option, the competition may not be another restaurant, but instead a supermarket convenience meal. What's clear is that understanding the needs and wants of the local demographic is key. What does the local consumer want to eat and drink at home? And that's a consideration whether you're a retailer or a restaurateur alike. Consider how you can leverage friction-free and contactless beyond order and payment, but also in a delivery and collection space as well. Within this, there's also a new respect and recognition that the people who service our need for food and drink, not just the companies themselves, are an integral part of the function of day-to-day society. And in fact, food workers are key workers and should be treated and rewarded as such. Then we've got reinvented supply chains. Out-of-home outlets were forced to close at such short notice. How consumers buy food virtually changed overnight. Supermarket shelves were stripped bare of essential goods, which led to a conundrum at both ends of the supply chain spectrum. In the absence of the usual go-tos, consumers wondered how and where they were going to source their food, whilst farmers, producers and wholesalers had to rethink their contingency plans for delivery, for harvest, for the stock that they already had. Almost overnight, the links in supply chain were dropped, democratizing the food and drink supply chain probably forever. As restaurants, cafes, hotels and bars shuttered at breakneck speed, this drove essential and immediate challenges to supply chain norms. Wholesalers suddenly found themselves with abundance of stock but no orders. So this crisis has driven innovation that has seen direct to consumer selling and home delivery, such as QSRs selling ingredients and groceries in some parts of the world. Those with the route to market, i.e. the home, and the delivery mechanic or the collection mechanic, i.e. the wheels, have an opportunity to win. So consider how these changes in supply chain norms today will change the competitive landscape in a post-COVID world. We're also seeing a democratization of the food system, whereby the freshness, the quality and the varietal choice that was once just the preserve of high-end chefs now finds itself on the doorsteps of home cooks around the world. Food service distributors acting as distribution hubs for domestic customers, catering butchers and fishmongers now serving direct to consumer. Natura, as an example, who serve chefs in London, Paris, Milan and LA, are calling it a food revolution. The once largely invisible engine room of global supply chain, the farmer, the fisherman, the butcher, are reinventing themselves with a newfound power driven by their innate survival instinct, with the help of online platforms to connect directly to consumers. Some farmers are even taking things a step further with farm share subscriptions for purchase. So in this installment, we've highlighted the trends that are likely to persist post-pandemic. Even more conscious consumption, a food system revolution, and a reinvented supply chain, and some initial thought starters of opportunities. By considering these trends and how you as a business, brand, startup or entrepreneur pivot and adapt in consideration of them will mean that you're well positioned to succeed in the next normal in food and drink. In the next installment, installment 2, we'll be looking at our food ecosystem through the lens of COVID-19 pandemic and the longer term shifts that we expect to see manifest. So join our community for details of installment 2, article 2, and the latest food and drink trends foresight. Log on to thefoodpeople.co.uk, complete your details to join our community at the footer of the page, and we'll keep you up to date with all of the latest foresight that our team are generating. Thanks for listening.